Hello guys, it's Sean here doing another Beyblade discussion. This time we have some news. So, all of the July news dropped early. At least I think. I hope we don't get something else like tomorrow and after we record this video, but anyway, let's hope that doesn't happen. So first up, the biggest news is the July starter. We've kind of known about this for a little while, but we finally got the full reveal, know the parts, and it's pretty crazy. So this bay is PegasusBlast Assault Turbo. So first off, you do have a launcher with a long ripcord. Apparently it's the longest ripcord we've had, even longer than the hold launchers, which is pretty crazy, so that's cool. There's also a CX lock chip tool, which is nice. I mean, maybe would have been nice to already get one of these, but sure, I guess. Kind of an improvement over using a bit. But the main thing is, of course, the bay, and this has some crazy stuff. So we're going to start with the blade, which I usually don't do, but the blade is not the craziest part about this bay. So first up, we got the Pegasus lock chip, which looks pretty nice. I actually like the kind of bright neon green it has going on as well. Also have the Assault Assist blade. Just looks three-sided. It might not be offset like Slash was. That'd be a good way to change it up. Again, looks fine. Cool, I guess. Then we have the Blast main blade, which looks really good. It's painted. Paint definitely carries this blade, but it's definitely another attack blade from CX, so that's all I can really say about the blade, honestly. It's not that interesting, but it sure is a blade. The thing I want to talk about is Turbo. This is a ratchet bit fusion, which we've never had before. This is basically a reboot or final drive, which is very interesting. So it'll start off in almost like a needle type of tip, and apparently the height will be set at 90 when it's like this, so it's very tall. But after a little while, it retracts, kind of becomes like a gear flat, and then is at a 65 height. So it has sort of a height change, mode change gimmick. Very interesting. Curious to see how this works. Also, I want to know how this actually locks onto the blade, because I don't think there's going to be any bit to push in or anything. I think you just have to twist this onto the blade, which is interesting, because I don't know how strong the lock will be in that case, and could this thing just be burst prone? I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. So overall, PegasusBlast, I think, is looking interesting. Again, Turbo is great. I'm really excited for this, even if it's not perfect. I'm just interested to see how this thing functions, what it does, some, all the oddities, like again, the burst stuff, I don't know how that works. The blade, though, it looks phenomenal. I will say, the whole bay looks phenomenal. One of the best bays we've ever gotten, aesthetically, just in general, not just limited to X. It looks great. But, functionally, this blade is very boring, unfortunately. At the very least, we do have a very interesting part, so I'm not too upset about this, but it would have been nice if something was happening on this blade. Even if it was just like a small assist blade type of gimmick, I would have taken just something else for this blade, just so it's not a basic attack blade, which it kind of is. Looks great, but yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. It's still a good bay overall for sure. I'm really excited to see what Turbo's like, and we'll do an unboxing when this comes out, as this and the Rain Booster both come out on July 19th, so it'll be over a month until we get it, but I'm definitely looking forward to unboxing this one for sure. We also have Random Booster Volume 7, yet again, with two prizes, well, main prize and a secondary prize. So I went ahead, I just pre-ordered a full set of this thing. I don't want to deal with trying to hunt these things down right now because random booster prices have been terrible to try and get recently, so I just bit the bullet and paid for a full set. So anyway, the prize here is CerberusFlame Wheel 580 wall ball. 580 doesn't pair well, it doesn't really make sense here. It looks fine, but not a great choice, not a horrible, and just not really something that makes a whole lot of sense. Probably should have chosen, like, I don't know, maybe even like 980 could have worked, but whatever. Wall ball is pretty interesting. It's a ball and has this weird kind of guard around it. Definitely kind of trying to mimic Defense Sharp from Hellcarbix, of course, but it's a pretty unique looking part. I'm not upset about this one. This is actually a really cool looking bit. It's just a new idea. Even if a bit's not great, or even if the idea behind it is just kind of stupid, I'm always willing to see them try something new because, I've said this before, but X has been kind of boring, so just getting any kind of new concept I will take. Moving on to the blade, the Cerberus lock chip looks pretty good, I would say. It's solid. And then the flame main blade, it's there. I don't know how wide this is going to be. Hopefully at least kind of wide. Doesn't need to be extremely wide. I don't want that because that's just a good way to power creep the line. But hopefully it's at least a little bit wider than average just to make the kind of reference to Hellcarbix stand out a little bit more. But the blade's design overall is just kind of okay in my opinion. Also, the color scheme of this thing is very weird. If you haven't noticed, it's very much just red and black, not gold, which, judging based on, Perseus Dark, I thought they would have tried to mimic Hellcurvix a bit more, but they aren't. Don't get me wrong, red and black is a good color scheme, but I do kind of wish they went further into the Hellcurvix reference rather than doing this. Not bad, just a little odd to me. The last part here is the assist blade, Wheel. Wheel is clearly designed after BD-145. While it looks good, and I think it'll kind of work like that because it's very round, it's pretty close to the blade, so it should help to make the blade even more round and, well, just act as a supporting part to that. This was a massive missed opportunity. We've seen turn. We know we can have assist blades that are 2 parts with a flippable part. Should have had a normal mode and a boost mode here. Boost mode should have been able to fill in some gaps in the flame main blade, and they didn't do that. Huge missed opportunity in my opinion. It would have just been a little bit more to add to the bay and the functions of the bay and whatnot. Just a nice feature, that's what I'm trying to say. And I think they should have done that. It does look like it pairs well enough, just close to the blade, so I think it should still work pretty well, but again, just something that I really wish I would have thought of and actually incorporated into the design of this bay. I don't know, this bay is just kind of boring in my opinion. There's not much for me to say about it. It looks decent, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not really feeling CerberusFlame too much, but it's at least okay enough, I guess. The secondary prize caught me very off guard. I was prepared to get a Viper, but we didn't. We got WhaleFlame Massive 385 High Taper, so I was not anticipating Whale at all here. That completely caught me off guard, so that's something. In terms of parts, they're clearly trying to kind of mimic what Whalewave was doing. You have 385 High Taper, trying to be very tall. High Taper, not a great choice. I think they should have just reused Elevate, honestly, because Elevate, very unique bit. They're not going to make a new bit. Just reuse it, honestly, because High Taper just feels like a massive downgrade. 385 is perfectly fine, makes sense, pairs with the blade, sure. The Whale lock chip does look pretty nice, so that's cool. Despite the name, the Flame Blade actually kind of works better in blue in my opinion. I think that this actually looks way better. The blade itself doesn't matter a whole lot here for this bay, if we're being honest, but aesthetically, looks good. Their big selling point for this bay is Massive, the new assist blade. It has kind of a wavy design, kind of like Whalewave, and the idea is that it's meant to be the part that kind of has the downward smash attack, which in my opinion is a little stupid because it's plastic, so I don't think that's going to work particularly well, or at least not as well as they would have hoped, so not really ideal, but they tried. They basically just tried to make a CX Whalewave with what they could, and it went okay, but it's not ideal. Honestly, I wish they would have just done Viper here. Whale's new enough to where I'm fine waiting on another Whale bay. They didn't need it quite yet in my opinion, and they definitely could have waited for something that actually mimics the bay a bit better and maybe even made a new part or two that would have, again, worked better. So I think they maybe jumped the gun on this one, but what we got, it's okay. It does look pretty cool aesthetically, so that's nice. Moving on to the other bays here, we have 4 of the pulls. First up, Cerberus Dark, Wheel 160 flat, decent enough. Dark reprint is fine. We gotta get another Cerberus and Wheel, so there we go. 160, sure, flat. We really do not need more flats. Please stop reprinting day 1 parts. We have plenty of them. We could do other stuff. But, it's been long enough. It's been 2 years. This will be releasing almost exactly 2 years after, Beyblade X started, so I think we could move away from these finally. Next pull, Drawn Buster 580 Metal Needle, the sole UX bay in here. Drawn Buster hasn't really showed up too often in, reprints, so that's fine. 580, clearly they're trying to do the whole recolor of the prize bay thing, so even though 580 is not a new part, so it's a recolor, fair enough. Metal Needle, not a good choice at all. We just got one in the customized set. We really don't need another reprint of this bit. It's really bad, it can damage stadiums. Would have liked to see something else here, but I mean, at the very least, it's something that hasn't been reprinted too often, so I can't complain too much. Although we could have gotten, Gear Needle that hasn't been reprinted, much at all. I think it's only gotten 1 reprint, so would have liked to see Gear Needle over this, but whatever, I guess. Then we got a couple BX bays. First up, a Black Shell 770 Wall Ball. Black Shell looks really good, actually. I'm actually excited to have this one. Good reprint, I would say. Something that has only, I think, 1 of the reprint, unless I'm missing one, but I'll take it regardless. 770, another good reprint. I believe this is only in the customized set, unless it got reprinted one other time, but still. It's uncommon enough to where I'm fine getting a reprint here. And it's another way to get Wall Ball. I believe this will be the one used in kind of the blue, purple, whatever CerberusFlame recolor that you can make if you get a full set, which I will show at some point, but anyway. The last pull in here is a yellow Cobalt Dragoon 455 Wall Ball. Yellow Cobalt Dragoon's a choice, but, well, this bay needed a reprint, so this is actually a really good choice. 455 did just get a reprint recently, but it's still a fairly new Ratchet, so I'm not upset about this one. And then another way to get Wall Ball, so sure. Overall, I think the random booster is decent. CerberusFlame, a little bit boring, but at least has most of the new parts. WhaleFlame is interesting, again, get some new stuff here, sure, I guess. And the other pulls, I think in terms of blades, are all actually good. Ratchet choices are fine enough. Bit choices, questionable. Of our 4 reprints, I think Wall Ball getting it, of course, 2 extra times is fine. But both Flat Metal Needle really should not have been here. And also, High Taper on WhaleFlame is kind of bad, but whatever. We also have one final thing that we've gotten so far, which is a recolor of WizardArc, a black and pink one. Kind of stole Mammoth Tusk's whole flow, but whatever. It is a really good color scheme, and I am looking forward to getting this because it will be a Beyblade bar exclusive, but later we'll come to the Rare Bay Get Battle, and some of you might know I do get every Rare Bay Get Battle Bay, so I will get this eventually. Again, it does look really nice, so I'll definitely be looking forward to putting this in my collection. There's not a lot to say though, it's just a recolor of a bay we've already gotten, and it should be fairly easy to get if it's in the Rare Bay Get Battle, as long as it's not like a super rare one like Cobalt Drake or Air Pegasus, which I don't imagine it would be, then this one shouldn't be too inaccessible, and definitely just be nice to look at for sure. That's really all I gotta say. Those are the July releases. I believe there is a remake coming out next month as well, so I'd assume in the next core car we'll see that, and that should probably be released shortly after. But for now, that's all. July so far looking pretty good. The random booster's a bit questionable, but there's still enough good stuff in there to where I am still looking forward to it. Again, I did pre-order a full set. And PegasusBlast looks great. Really should have done a little bit more with the blade, but it is still a good overall. Turbo really is going to carry this, and aesthetically this thing is just amazing, so yeah, probably the best month in a little while, I would say. So I'm at least looking forward to some stuff here. Turbo is a really good looking part, just to mess around with, so yeah, we'll check this stuff out when it comes out. Hopefully I get it all in a timely manner, at some point in July, but we'll see. Anyways, I'll be back eventually. If we get more news, if I don't know, like the remake drop or something soon, then I'll make like a second news video in the month or something. But assuming it doesn't, I'll be back next month for the August stuff, plus that remake booster, which should hopefully be good as well. But anyways, that's all for this, so thanks for watching, and bye-bye.